Good morning. It's Meg with Padme's, and I'm doing your daily spirit messages this morning. I've already pulled some cards. We're going to pull tarot here in a minute, and I've called in our angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light because I don't want to talk to anybody else. And something that I heard just before while I was shuffling and setting cards out was just really simply get with the program and be in the moment. So I'm feeling like that has a lot to do with getting on track, getting on the right track, getting on the same page, or it's almost like know your audience, know who's around you, know what needs to happen. It's kind of like anticipating what the energy is, or just recognizing what the energy is around you. And it does feel like this has to do with a group of people today. It has to do with community, it has to do with others around you and how they affect you. So then it has to do with you internally, how you're affected by the group and how you need to stand in your balance, in your homeostasis from yesterday. But let's take a look at what came out here. Pretty interesting. We have the healer again, which came out a couple days ago. The Natos, confidence is your key to success. Druid, hold the space. Put the computer away. Working less will help strengthen your relationship. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Air, paradigm shift. Let me see that. And we've got the mountain. In the archetype cards, the mountain almost flew out, but then it didn't. And then in Lenormand, it came out anyway. So I guess we are supposed to get that message today. We've got G.I. Joe crawl, but it's reversed. We've got the rose in maybe Lenormand. And we've got main female. So the first couple things that I'm feeling here, the Natos is, it's really palpable, and it is death. And our cards today are talking about death and rebirth. There's a paradigm shift. Something is really coming to an end and coming to a close. And this death isn't this fairy tale type of death where it's just a conclusion to a cycle and a rebirth to something new. This death kind of goes to the core of you, the core of your survival understanding of what that is. So this paradigm shift seems like a doozy. This is also about communication and contemplation, but it's communication not only with others and with others' higher selves, but your higher self, your angels and guides, the universe. It seems like today's energy has a huge awareness of expansion. And Druid, this is a space holder. This is a healer. This is a space holder. And I'm even hearing through time and space. And there's something here when I see this Druid card. The Druid holds space between one paradigm and the next paradigm. And when we're experiencing dissonance, or that crazy feeling of not knowing where your center is or not knowing where you're grounded, Druid holds space so that dissonance is more easily navigated into the next paradigm, into the next shift. So this is also talking about you being your healer. This is also talking about you knowing yourself, knowing who you are, even in the midst of paradigm shifts, even in the midst of the mountain or challenges, something that needs to be overcome. I'm hearing somebody say something that needs to be looked past, but it's not a small thing to look past. It seems like a huge thing to move on from. And it almost feels like the Natos is like, there's nothing. It's the biggest release of control. There's nothing that you can do except hold space for yourself, know who you are, and walk your line. Put away the computer. You know, a lot of times for me, this has to do with getting out into nature, really connecting with other people, connecting with others' higher selves, really staying away from the social media aspect of it, or not that social media always has to be surface, but there's a getting away from the surface of something and really getting deep into your humanity, getting deep into your truth, your physical self, why you came here. New love is also here. I feel like someone is actually going to be experiencing a new family member, like an actual new child, new baby. Um, with death, there is life, that type of thing. This G.I. Joe crawl reversed. First, there are two things about this. First, it's talking about, because it's reversed for me, this is you having already gone through the trenches. But then also G.I. Joe crawl is something that my dog does, and it's fun, and it's reversed. So this is more so talking about not so much lightheartedness in this one today. It's talking about like kind of hunkering down and recognizing what's going on and being very real about connections, being very real about where you are and what's going down. So let's take a look at some tarot and see what's going on. I also wanted to talk about main female over here. So this can be matriarch energy. This can be your energy. This can be someone else's energy. This can also be your very much intrinsic idea of self and who you are and how you are and how that is internally and then how it's displayed outwardly. Interestingly, we've got the 8 of Wands. This is about communication also, and this is about messages that are not necessarily reaching their target just yet, or they're not being dispersed. So this energy could be totally getting you ready for this, telling you to move into, yeah, I'm hearing your own time frame, move into your own time, your own timeline. And you can choose and think about intrinsically, roll it around. How are you going to communicate this new identity, this new way of being? This druid is talking about just holding space until you know. It kind of is like the being in between, but I feel like this paradigm shift isn't going to keep you holding or stuck. It's going to shift, it's going to move. Let's take another tarot and see what's going on. You're in the process of this already. And here's justice. Wow. So here's karmic justice going on. Talk about cycles and things that we're learning and lessons that we're learning. This confidence is the key to your success. This is knowing your truth, knowing where you've come from, knowing what you have done, what you have sent out into the universe, and what you are receiving back. And this justice proper is you receiving karma for your good deeds, karma for just the balance and energy that you have sent out there, that you have contributed to. All right, we're going to pull one more tarot. And we've got the Knight of Wands. So this Knight of Wands is a fast-moving knight. And this is also a really healing card. Wands are very healing and inspirational and insightful and very intuitive. So this is a learning process. This overcoming obstacles with the mountain, this really digging deep and feeling the death of something, the death of a time, and also the complete rebirth of something in a very different way, in a very much more evolved way. But this is your whole learning process. This is about the karma that we've chosen to come in, the soul lessons that we've chosen to come in and learn. I feel like this card is also telling us to see the situation, see what's going on around you with childlike eyes. Not child, but recognize that we're always learning. We're not the master, maybe not just yet, maybe never, but we're always learning. There is forward motion if it feels like there's stagnation. This does not look like stagnation to me. It looks like definite forward motion. There's just a deep contemplation about how to connect and how to communicate today. Whew. All right. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.